were never rattled, ever. Because we're always in the moment, always in the present, always extremely calm, always looking at the reality of the situation and not letting our emotions cloud our execution. I switch my mind to something else, switch my mode into something else. Stone cold killer. You gotta put yourself in that cage. When I'm in that cage, bro, don't touch me. For me, it's the equivalent of Maximus Decimus Meridius in Gladiator picking up the dirt, smelling the dirt. It's go time.
Up before the dawn, ready for Judgment Day. A lethal underdog, walking on to make 'em pay. Woke up feeling dangerous. That stuff so contagious. We got 10 toes down, so let the haters say what they say.
If you ain't Argent Brown, you don't matter anyway.
Woke up feeling dangerous. That stuff. We got that dog check. Found it away. You made the wrong bet. If you're doubting our game, we give our last breath. One more play, and we'll make a name. We're ready for Judgment Day. Against the world. My city is on the brink tonight. We're about to go. I'm hearing the crowd begin to rise in stereo. Sky's bringing on, we're getting in off the lake. Thunder rolls, and all the people shouting out a name. Cleveland, born to fight and believe land. We ride or die, hear 'em screaming. Every boy and girl. Cleveland against the world. Watch my city rock. Feel my city roll. Watch my city rock. We go Cleveland, born to fight and believe land. We ride or die, hear 'em screaming. Every boy and girl. We are Cleveland, born to fight and believe land. We ride or die, hear 'em screaming. Every boy and girl. Every boy and girl. Against the world.
What is up, everybody? This is the Brownie Postgame Pregame Show, and we are live here, NFL Week 9. We have the new festive deep fall overlay going. I've got both my dad and Mike Rostano that are live here with us as usual. Good morning, gentlemen. Mike, start off with you. How are you doing today?
Doing good.
Yeah, I'm doing well as well.
Excellent. So we've had, starting off topic number 1, a little bit of drama this week.
No.
Just a tiny bit, right?
What a difference a week makes. You wouldn't think that so much could happen in a week, but at this time last week, all of us were in the parking lot of the stadium, drinking a beer, waiting for the game to start. Great anticipation, hoping we were going to do well. Little did we know the controversy that was going to unfold during the game with Odell's attitude and the poor play back and forth of offense and defense, the losing of the game. We had a great trip, good seats, good weather, good hotel, good camaraderie with Mike and Laura and John and his friend Andy. I mean, we saw our cousin. It was just a fantastic trip, except for the fact that we lost the game.
Yeah, exactly. And then coming right back, a couple days later, and then the tweet, or I guess Instagram post seen around the world by OBJ's dad that kind of started off this whole fiasco.
Right.
This is a very, very, I don't know about you guys, but I felt like this week flew by because of all the stuff that we were dealing with. It was like minute by minute, there was like something new happening.
Right.
I don't know if I feel like it did go by quick, but then at the same time, I almost feel like we were in Cleveland like 3 weeks ago. Like it's hard to believe that it was a week ago today,
Yeah. It's, I mean, honestly, like after that fun weekend that we had, I can see what it would be like, honestly, to be a season ticket holder, Dad. We might have to get in on this. Maybe we get in with Adam next year and we get in on his season tickets and just make several trips like Mike and Laura do.
Well, if they have a good team and they play, on an upscale basis, there's no reason not to go to the games and celebrate. And you wind up winning more than you lose, and you wind up walking away happier than sad most of the time. But if they're going to revert back to 8-8 and no direction and poor sloppy play, I mean, I just as soon watch them on TV and then go out there and spend all that money. Look at all those people that spent the money on the Odell Beckham jersey. And now they can just trash it or burn it or whatever they want to do with it. Take the number off of it and put another number and name on it. Salvage something out of it. But what a waste of money.
Yeah. Interestingly, okay, so when did the season start? We are like, I was thining because of the jersey guarantee that Fanatics does. You know how I gave away like 10 jerseys? I wonder if they'll refund me all that money. So just buy a whole bunch of new jerseys.
Because I just saw somebody posted, I want to say yesterday or the day before, and sadly for them, they literally missed the 90-day cutoff by 1 day.
Oh, geez.
Here's a little irony for you. And so Laura's favorite number is 13, and that's sort of how she gravitated towards Odell. And I bought her that jersey last year. And as fate would have it, she brought Joe Thomas and Odell to the game on Sunday. There's Bonzo making his weekly appearance.
Woof, woof. Dog check.
And she chose to go with the Joe Thomas jersey on Sunday. So talk about a little foreshadowing there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I made the purchases. I'm gonna look back to see when I made the first Odell purchase. Odell jersey purchase.
How many you got left, Mike?
How many what?
How many did you purchase?
I think I purchased like 10. Okay, the first one I purchased was on August 25th, which would have been August 25th. So September, October. So I would have till November 25th. So
Yeah, I guess
all
that
of
is
the
90.
jerseys, all of the jerseys that were purchased should be within the 90-day period.
And what does that get you?
Jersey guarantee, right?
I don't
you
know.
could swap it out. If you bought it with the jersey assurance, then no questions asked, he's gone. You're able to send that back and pick another one of your choosing.
Oh, so you have to send it back.
I believe that is
Okay.
is the
This says
is the process.
This says now it says jerseys are trade resistant. Fanatics will replace a jersey for free if any player changes teams within 90 days. A free replacement jersey if the active pro player you purchase switches a team within 90 days of purchase. Free, fast, friendly claim and process. Claims need to be fulfilled within 14 days of the qualifying event. What's not covered? No players that on a non-pro team, players no longer on the team due to retirement, suspension, injury, dismissal, or anything similar. But he was just let go. So it doesn't say a trade. It just says if they change teams.
Yeah, I think you're good.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, what is it? Complete a simple claim form. Our friendly support team will contact you. Package and ship us your original jersey via the return label. We will ship you a replacement jersey free of charge.
There you go.
So who do you want?
I got to reach out to all those people and be like, hey guys, if you want to return it, let me know.
Did you give all 10 away?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I bought one. I think I bought one for myself though. Yeah, I bought one for myself because it was like $20 for like the limited one, like the really nice one. So that is
Well, there's no reason to keep it, Mike. I would get rid of it.
Yeah, if you can, I would.
Yeah,
it was the Vapor Limited. Now the question will be though, some people got the game, some people got the limited. So and some people got like whatever the cheapest one available at the time in their size they got, right? So I'll reach out to each one of these people and say, hey, by the way, it's available.
Right.
Whatever you want to do. So, well, that's fun. That's good.
Yeah.
But I wonder if there's anything related to. I'll have to reach out. I don't want to occupy the whole show on this, but I think he probably has to change. He has to get picked up by a new team, something like that. But anyway,
he'll get picked up. He'll get picked up either off of waivers, if somebody wants him that badly, or he'll clear waivers and he'll be a free agent. And then any one of 4 or 5 teams will pick him up, pay him, negotiate a contract or whatever, save the Browns some money. And then, I was thinking about the other day, I can't think of one player over the last 20 years that we have let go for whatever reason, and they turned out to be a Pro Bowl outstanding player that we regretted letting go.
I mean, there in terms of like superstar guys. I mean, you could say Mitchell Schwartz, like not superstars. I would probably agree, but I would say like players that have gone on to do well. Mac, the center, Mac did well.
Yeah, but nothing to write home about. Nothing that said, "Oh God, if we had only kept him." What a big mistake. I don't think letting Odell go is a mistake. It will help everybody, and we won't miss him. We will not miss him. The distraction. It'll be better for Baker. It'll be better for Stefanski.
Yeah.
All the fans, everybody. And if he does well, more credit to him. I think he will be pedestrian. He'll have his moments, but I like you said, Mike, in the past, he's past his prime, and he really didn't produce for us. It was a good experiment. I loved it when we did it. and he was starting to come around before he got hurt. But when I heard that he was even barking and bitching in the offseason about being traded, then there should be no surprise to anybody that things didn't turn out very well this past week.
Yeah, I agree. I think the injury really hurt us from the standpoint is if you go back and you look at the end of last season and where they were development wise, and there was reports that he was barking behind the scenes, and you just alluded to it, Dan. But I think if he doesn't get hurt, I think he's released before the new year and they start fresh. Because, I mean, for all intent and purpose, we all saw this coming. It was just a matter of time. And the people that run the front office are extremely smart at what they do, and they saw this coming as well. And I agree with you. I wanted it to work. I thought it would work. But exactly what happened in New York, we see happened here. And I mean, when you have guys like Ed Reed coming out midweek saying, hey man, one time, okay, the second time, maybe you need to start looking in the mirror and trying to figure out what's going on here. I thought that was telling. And, at the end of the day, if you look, a lot of teams are pointing towards, going to the Saints back home. And I chuckle, and I tweeted something out earlier. I mean, okay, so your goal is to go play with Trevor Siemian? I mean, by all means. And in closing on this topic for me is I think when that report came out, Mike, you touched on it this morning, that he wants to be in a winning environment, etc. Every guy to a man that tweeted out the other day about Odell being a great teammate and we wish him luck and whatever, those dudes need to look in the mirror after that comment and phrase, if you will, just came out earlier today, because it's clear that guy doesn't respect anything or anybody but himself.
Well,
And hey,
okay, so
if-
I did hear that there were some comments, that there are some things that are coming out about things that he said. Can you elaborate on that just for everybody here and honestly just for me? Because I did not see what he said. Or
yeah, just when it came out that he wants to be part of a winner and he wants to be in a winning environment. Like, to me, that's a knock on where he just came. I mean, we were 11-5 last year. We made the playoffs without him. Right now we're 4-4, and I believe after today they're going to be 5-4, and they're going to turn this ship around. And they are a winning team. And so your best friend, you just left the team with your best friend and some other guys that you feel that you're really close, and your parting gift is, hey, I want to be part of a winning environment. I don't know where I come from, that I'd be insulted by that, but it is what it is. But
here's the thing too. We were a part. This is a winning environment. We won. We made it to the playoffs last year. We won a game in the playoffs last year. We didn't do it with him, right? So for he's created the non-winning environment part of this that variable that he's looking for. It could be him, right? And if you look at the stats, guys, 22 touchdowns, 2 interceptions without Odell Beckham, and significantly worse when he's in the lineup. So it is a problem. There's more people that are now doing analysis on it as well. They're kind of considering it kind of like Ocho Cinco was to a certain degree, where there's a lot of dancing around at the line of scrimmage, and the quarterback's expecting you to be in one place. You're not in that place. It throws off the rhythm because the athlete thinks that he's can do more than what he can or should be doing, right? So there's a whole lot of things that are bouncing around right now.
Yeah, and his drop balls were probably the worst. I mean, the attitude was bad. We didn't really pick up on it until after the game last week, when you saw the replay and you saw the people showing him that he didn't celebrate when his teammates scored or when Baker made that first down, that he was just sulking because he's not getting the ball. And then Jarvis compounds it by not having a good game and fumbling in a key situation. So, I mean, it was just a bad situation. And, I, for one, will not miss him. And I'll be surprised if he does really, really well with somebody else. I think he'll be okay, especially if he gets with a top-notch quarterback. But you're right. Why does he want to go to the Saints and try to catch a ball from a pedestrian rookie type quarterback? He's gonna hold out for that star quality type of quarterback that will take the pressure off of him. I mean, he was the one dropping the balls, not Baker.
Yeah, I mean, was that against the Chargers, the 4th and 2 that he dropped the ball? It was put right where it needed to be.
Right.
So it's like I think it was a catch-22 with this guy, honestly, after thinking about it, because, so what? So best case scenario, we keep winning. But then what we've learned is that even though we're winning, if he's not getting 10 targets a game, he's unhappy behind the scenes. So, you know what? I was a fan, but I'm okay with this. Let it just be done with it, and let Barry and Stefanski continue to build the culture and the program that they're trying to build without a distraction like that. I'm A-okay with this.
Right.
Yeah. And you know what? I was talking to Cleveland Cam. I was just playing some Call of Duty with him right before this. He made it. He said that he actually knew during the summer, not from Jedrick Wills. He plays a lot of Call of Duty with Jedrick. He clarified because it wasn't from Jed. Just want to let everybody know. But he knew that OBJ had requested a trade last summer. And so he knew that there was some drama that was kind of circling around. The cyclone was starting, and Andrew Berry, he confirmed that when he did his press conference, that this has been something that they've known for a while. This has been weeks, right? And it was kind of like festering, and it was like getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right? So, apparently OBJ has wanted out for a while, and from what Cleveland Cam said is he wants to be a high volume receiver, and the offense that Kevin Stefanski runs, there is not a high volume receiver element to his offense, as we can see, and we could see in Minnesota as well. When Stefon Diggs left and went to the Bills, he becomes the high volume receiver there, right? And for OBJ, that makes sense, right? If he wants to do that. So I don't fault him at all for if he thinks he's the guy and he wants to be the high volume receiver, like the Stefon Diggs, like those guys that are out there that are getting, 10 to 15 targets a game, then I think he should. But where my problem is the stunt that he did to put himself in the position to be released. They forced the Browns to release him because he publicly, and him and his dad, and I guarantee you, he greenlit that tweet from LeBron. LeBron does not tweet that without OBJ giving him the green light.
Absolutely.
So he greenlights that. He gaslights this entire event, which he knows they're not going to be able to sit there and have Baker and him in the same locker room when his dad goes out there and publicly attempts to humiliate him, right? So my problem with it is if you want to go out there and you want to make a living and you want to do things, there's a right way to do it and a wrong way. This is the same. It's the equivalent of being a very important person at a company and resigning without giving 2 weeks notice. Just saying, I'm out, F off. That's basically what he did, but he essentially forced them to release him for the contract, and that was why the stunt was done, right? That's my problem with it. And to compound that, and if you guys follow me on Twitter, which I know a lot of you do, the things that I've been saying about it were, for all of these players like Schwartz and Jarvis and Mac Wilson and these guys that are gushing over OBJ's birthday and wishing him the best of luck, and he was such a great teammate, blah blah blah, to counteract the NFL story that he just showed up and he wasn't a good teammate, he didn't talk to anybody, and blah blah blah. All those guys that are publicly coming out there and just simping for Odell, I don't blame Jarvis, but my problem with it is, where are you to back up your teammate? Because your teammate backs you up. And right now, Baker Mayfield with a broken arm, torn labrum. It's being harnessed up, holding his arm in, right? That's the guy that's going out there trying to win games, diving for first downs, getting knocked out of bounds, doing all this stuff. Yeah, he might miss, but every quarterback does. Dad, you and I were talking about the Tampa Bay game where Tom Brady had a chance to go down and win the game. He throws an interception to lose it. Right? So nobody's perfect here.
Absolutely.
But,
I think my last comment on this, and we should move on, is if he wants to be the high volume receiver, chances are he's not going to be able to do that, because once he has a good game, or once he's targeted 6 times, guess what? They're going to put 2 men on him, and he can't get away from 2 men. He can get away from 1 maybe, but once they double team him, they're going to shut him down. So he's not the same person. I think he's only 29. You would think that
he just turned 29. Yeah.
So I mean, he is still very young and athletic, but I think past his prime, and I don't think he'll be that high volume receiver that he wants to be. But those days are gone.
The one thing that I can say that, and you just touched on it, Mike, but I think in this scenario, if any other team, let me put it this way: if another team was in this scenario and had their quarterback of choice, whoever you want to say, I think today could be a very tough day. But I almost feel like we're extremely lucky, because Mayfield's whole career has been about not giving a hoot about anything or anybody around him.
Right.
His thing, and it's always been, and it's the reason why he had the chip on his shoulder, and he did well in college, and he wound up, being the number 1 draft pick, is he doesn't care about the noise. He just knows that he's a gamer, and he wants to go out and he wants to play and he wants to win. So I think you couldn't ask for a better quarterback under center in a game that means so much today, than having Baker back there. I do really believe that. And I stand by my 34-17 earlier in the week. I think he's going to come out a man possessed, and you're going to see accurate bullets to wherever he needs to go.
Yeah. He, the one commentator, the girl, was commenting that when Baker walked in the stadium earlier, he had his game face on. He looked focused, motivated, ready to play, ready to prove that he can put this behind him. So I'm anxious to see how well he performs today. I hope everybody plays well. I hope they put 4 quarters together for a change. Offense, defense, you name it, game plan, catch the breaks. And I agree with you, Mike. I think it could be, 35-17, that kind of win.
Yeah, and so moving on to the injury report, has anybody taken a look to see who are the inactives today?
No.
Right now, it looks like everybody plays. Clowney's in, Denzel's in, DPJ's in. Everybody that was questionable is going to go today. The only obvious ones that are not playing are
Conklin.
obviously Hunt and Jock are still in the IR, and then Conklin went to the IR. But as far as all the guys that we were sort of, hey, are they going to play this week? They're all a go.
Yeah, everybody. There was some limited practice. Harrison Bryant is the only guy who did not practice on Friday.
Yes, I forgot about him. Yep, he's the only question mark right now.
Okay. And to be honest, with Hooper and Joku both healthy, we should be okay on that front, even if Harrison can't go. But I'd be surprised if he couldn't go, because he doesn't. It's not like how many snaps is he going to get,
right?
What is it really going to be? And then on the Bengals side, from what I'm reading, they had Cam Sample, who's an edge rusher, has a knee injury. He did not practice on Friday, so he's questionable. Everybody else looks to be healthy on their side too. So we're going to face a full strength Bengals organization, which is good. Here's the thing about this team right now, And guys, we talk about this all the time where, we talked about it earlier before the season started, and now where we're at, the one thing that's going to bite us, the one thing that can beat the Browns is injuries. That's the biggest question mark, because we have the most talent. We got the talent that's out there week in and week out. I would argue that there isn't a team that we have faced this year that has more individual talent at every position than we do.
Right.
I really think that we've got the most talent. It just comes down to who's in the lineup and who's not due to the injuries. And God, you just got to knock on wood and hope that we make it out of another game without losing, a mission critical guy like Kareem Hunt or Jack Conklin or, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I mean, these are guys that they're critical. All three of those guys could make the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, well, they're all impact players, and any one of them can turn a game, can dominate a game like Chubb, Baker, if he's on. So, I mean, that's key, and that's part of the game. Other teams lose players just like us, if not worse. There are teams that are really struggling. I can't think of a team that's a bigger disappointment than the Browns so far. If they were 4-2, I'd say we're on track. Being 4-4 at this point was not in my cards. And obviously, if you're the Jets, who got absolutely annihilated on Thursday night, they played horribly. They put no defensive guys out on the field. They got one hurt as well. They were out of it probably, in the second quarter, the game was over. They really didn't show up to play. I hope that's, never the case for us, that Stefanski has them ready to play, motivated, OBJ behind us. And if we win this game, we're right back in the thick of things.
Yeah.
Here's a funny tweet. I don't know if it's funny, but Aditi just put out a tweet about 3 minutes ago that said, once again, for the folks late to the party, there was never any personal disconnect between Mayfield and Beckham. Running a route as it is prescribed matters. So you're hearing a lot of that.
Right.
That's interesting. And I think I always thought whenever OBJ was finally gone, that there's going to be a lot that was going to come out. And, I think Baker right now is he's being tight-lipped by this, because I think there are people that are friends of his that are in the locker room. He doesn't want the distraction anymore. He's not playing great. He comes out and throws 5 touchdowns today. You might see a different flavor you might feel that dangerous Baker coming back to the podium afterwards, being like, you're going to come out, you're going to bash me, you're going to blow me up. All right. We got Justin Jefferson out there wearing a free Odell hoodie during pregame warmups 20 minutes ago. What is this?
He's already free.
He's free.
So,
he freed himself.
It's a wild week in the NFL. That's for sure.
Yep.
Oh my God, it's so frustrating. Let's talk about the Bengals, guys. Bengals.
I think they're beatable. Burrow
Absolutely.
has a good game. He's going to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to throw the ball a lot. I don't think they're going to be able to run on us. So he's going to be going back. Then it's a question of how well our secondary holds up. Can they stop him? Can we get some tip balls? Can we put pressure on him? Are they going to let him sit back there in the pocket? If he sits back there in the pocket, he's not going to run much because he's been hurt. He didn't want to get hurt again. So he's going to try to stay in there and get rid of it as best he can. And if we give him the time, it's going to be a long, long day. And if our offense doesn't score, it's going to be even longer.
Mike, what are your thoughts on the Bengals?
Yeah, I mean, a solid team. I think they're still young, and I think you saw that against the Jets. I like the back end of their defense. Their defensive line has been playing well. Surprisingly, Ogunjobi has played well there. I think that they're improved. I think Jamar Chase helps that, and Mixon is great in the run game, obviously, and I do like their tight end. I think that again is another key to the game. And we say it every time Jock is not in the lineup. We have to revert back to, hey, does this team have a tight end that can hurt us? And they do. So, I think they really need to lock down that tight end position. I think they've got solid receivers. So to say that we'll lock them down all game, that would be silly of me. But I think we play them well. And again, I think we stop the run, we limit the tight end play, and do what we do on offense. And I think that we're okay. Really for all intent and purpose. I'm not going back to OBJ, but the guy was out more than he was in. So, I look at our offense today and I say we're full complement except for Hunt and Conklin, and Hance hasn't been horrible on the right side. They gave him a little bit help later in the game last week, and he was fine out there. He's good enough to hold down the fort until Conklin gets back. So, would it surprise me if the Bengals won? No, because I do think that they're a solid team, but I just don't see it today.
This is a team, Mike. You and I talked about on the Wednesday show quite a bit as a team that always makes me nervous because it's an in division game, and I don't think they're not the same old Bengals, right? This is although in analyzing the wins that they have, they're 5-3 right now, so they're sitting, in second place, and they beat the Vikings in overtime thanks to Greg Joseph missing field goals. They then the next week that was week 1. The next week they lose to the Bears, to the Andy Dalton led Bears. Then they come back and beat the Steelers, handedly beat the Steelers 24-10. Then they barely beat the Jags 24-21. They lose in overtime to the Packers. They beat the crap out of the Lions, right? The JV team of the league this year.
Yeah.
They beat the crap out of the Ravens 41-17, and they follow that up by losing in regulation to the Jets, giving up 34 points and only putting up 31. So this is a Bengals team that they're confusing. To beat the Steelers, to beat the Ravens. And it wasn't even close. They wrapped up the Ravens game in the first half.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey.
And what Bengals team are we going to see today?
Yeah. And just to the inactives just came out. Bryant is a go, so that's good news.
Okay.
And one that's interesting because we were all waiting for it to happen, but Andrew Billings is inactive, and the way that he's been showing up on film,
probably not a bad thing.
That's not a bad thing.
Yeah. And going back to the Bengals now, looking at the last couple weeks. So looking at the Jets, Joe Burrow threw 34 times and he completed 21. 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 259 yards against the Jets defense. Then you've got, and in that same game, Joe Mixon rushes 14 times for 33 yards.
Right.
Then you've got the game before that where they beat the heck out of the Ravens. Joe Burrow threw 38 times, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 416 yards, lots of them. Joe Mixon rushes 12 times for 59 yards. Then previously to that, you've got against the Lions where they beat the crap out of the Lions. Joe Burrow threw 29 times, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception again, 271. And then Joe Mixon rushes 18 times for 94 yards. So here's how I look at this, guys. I don't think Joe Mixon is gonna tear it up against us. Although when Joe Mixon has good games, they oftentimes are against us. So he's capable of it. I just think that their offensive line is built to max protect Joe Burrow, and not to open up holes for Joe Mixon. Last week they allowed 3 sacks. The Ravens got to him 1 time. The Lions got to him 2 times. So I mean, here's the challenge: is they're not really rushing well. The Bengals, other than against the Lions, who are just absolutely terrible. But I mean, if they have a similar performance to what they had against the Jets, I think we're going to do really well because I think we have a better offense than the Jets do. I mean, that I don't even think that's debatable. So I think we can put up points. What's really gonna be a difference maker in this game is, and we're gonna know with the penalties, what are we playing discipline? And if we don't, if the penalties start showing up, then you know right then and there that the distractions that happened with the Odell situation this week got to the team and they could not focus on winning this game. And I think that's the biggest variable that I have. If not, I would, if I was betting on sports, and I don't bet on sports, but if I did, getting 2.5 points against the Bengals seems like a fairly safe bet to me. Like I like that bet based off of the Jekyll and Hyde team that this Bengals team is. I don't know, but you guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, similar, Mike. I think they're beatable. It's all on Burrows, whatever he does, and whatever defensive scheme Woods comes up with. I hope he blitzes. I hope he puts pressure on him.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they force him to make the throws. He's capable of making the throws. He's not a rookie quarterback anymore. He's got the capability to burn you. And hopefully our guys, in the secondary will play well. It could go either way. They don't make it a 2.5 point game for nothing. This could go either way. It all depends really on how we come out. We'll know by the first half, the first 2 quarters, first couple of possessions.
Yep.
Are we focused? Are we doing well? Can we drive the ball? Can we run the ball? Is Baker capable of, making completions? And will the defense get us off the field? A 3 and out, whatever, keep them to field goals. The weather is not a factor. It's 55, sunny, no wind. So that is not a contributing factor. So we'll see. I'm looking for a win today. And if it's a big win, that'd be even better.
Adam Schefter reported an hour ago that the Bears have released Rashard Perriman.
Yeah.
That could be an interesting one. Kadarius Hodge, has he been picked up?
I think he's still on the Lions, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he hasn't been let go yet.
Okay. So there's, I think this is the interesting thing about today's game. And I'm not worried. If it was somebody like Nick Chubb going down or Myles Garrett going down, that drastically impact, or even Baker, that drastically impacts what we do. This is a guy that, although he's gotten a lot of targets, he's only had 17 catches. He doesn't have a single touchdown. I was watching the Colts game briefly, and Michael Pittman is like 23 years old, 22 years old. He's got 5 touchdowns this season. 5. If OBJ had 5 touchdowns, we'd probably be more like 6-2, 5-3 right now.
Yeah,
if we would score some damn points.
Yeah, I mean, you look at OBJ's numbers after 29 games. I could tell you right now, if the name on the back of the jersey isn't what it is, he's cut before game 20. I mean, those were just putrid stats.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So I mean, what it's going to do is what we're going to see today, guys, is we're going to see Nick Chubb being featured. We're going to see more Dearness Johnson as well, backing him up, and we're going to see Baker feeling more comfortable. I played a little bit of football in high school, and I can tell you that, when you're a quarterback and you're looking at the guys in your huddle, when you have people that are negative, or people that you can just feel, it's just think about it, like not even playing football, just anything. Think about your job. Think about if you're at a party and there's just somebody there, and you can almost feel the atmosphere of that individual and what they bring with the negativity, the party pooper mentality. And
Right.
I don't care if he's showing up with the Michael Jackson stuff, having fun before the game, and having it seem like, oh no, everything's good, everything's cool, and that totally, that's not the same guy you're getting on the field who's frustrated, who's pissed off. It's just not the same guy. And on top of that, one of the things that one of the ways that I was critical of the Browns, and we were all at the game last week, so we didn't see any of this costume nonsense happening, before the game. But it's like, where is the focus when when you're leading the league in penalty yards, when you're not winning games, you're showing up in costumes, right?
Yeah, there's no anger. There's no anger. They
Right.
weren't angry. They weren't focused. They weren't.
We're angry.
Yeah, we're more angry than they are. And when you come out and you sort of nonchalant a loss like Miles did with his cape on and stuff, it was like, okay, we lost, no big deal. It was a big deal. Last year, the guys would have never come out with that attitude. It's almost like they're being complacent, and they're happy with being relegated to win, lose, win, lose. You got to stay focused and driven week in and week out to make it in this league.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, this is something I'll admit. I mean, we, as remote fans as we are, not as non-season ticket holders like me and my dad, it's easier to kind of rinse a loss off. But Mike, you had been over the last couple of years expressed what it feels like to be somebody who's a season ticket holder, who pays to travel to the game several times a year. The type of investment that you make into this organization, like, we're not multi-millionaires, making $15 million a year who's like, I'm going to wear a costume and I'm going to decorate my front yard in a funny way and then go out there and lose and then, shrug it off like whatever. Like,
Right. I got my sack for today, so I'm good.
Yeah, I got a sack. I'm leading the league. I could break a record. So sack. Who gives a crap about sacks? Win the game, And Mike, for had you had expressed it in the past, is like, it's frustrating to see these guys go out there and nonchalantly lose games, and then get distracted with all this, with this essentially a mediocre receiver who's got a big name on the back of his jersey, gushing over this guy who's been nothing but mediocre, who's done nothing but quit on them, rid himself of them, and they couldn't wait to bow down to this guy and say how they miss him and wishing him luck and happy birthday and all this crap. Whereas they have a guy on their team who's risking, his health every week to go out there and sacrifice to try to win games, and nobody's publicly going to bat. Nobody's wearing the support Baker Mayfield. You know who would, though? If there's one guy in the league who would go to bat for Baker Mayfield and wear like a shirt supporting him, it would be Mark Andrews, who plays for the Ravens. This is a guy who has publicly backed Baker in the past, right? And this is the bullshit of it all. It's like, everybody shut up, go out there, win your games. If somebody doesn't want to play, he doesn't want to play with you. If you want to look like a weakling and go out there and say how you're so sad that he's gone, you want to wish him so much luck out there for somebody quitting on you, I think that says more about those players than it does about anybody else.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah. And I think that, like, as I was reflecting on it this week, the shame of it all is really, for me, with that situation, is the fact that this could have been weeks of Donovan Peoples-Jones development, and we robbed him of that, essentially. I believe that, because we and I mean, we as in us don't mean squad, it's the front office and Stefanski, etc. They were holding on to that. It's going to, the superstar is coming. It's all going to click. It's going to come out. It's going to come out. I know we wanted to trade, but, we have to see if it works, etc. And at the end of the day, like we said earlier in the show, it was the same outcome as previous. And, and actually previous was even more insulting, because, I mean, he went out in public himself and, was bad talking Eli Manning, who's a Super Bowl MVP, 2-time Super Bowl champ. And Odell has none of that. So, it is what it is. But I mean, to get away from OBJ for a second, I just think it sucks in a way of, Donovan Peoples-Jones could have been developing as that one, because I mean, we all see it, and the national people have talked about it. DPJ's got a lot of talent, and we need to see what he has.
Yep.
The rest of the way to say, yeah, we need to look at, and I don't think this guy would ever drop down to where we're going to be picking, and I don't know if they're going to go up and get somebody like that, but I will say like a Chris Olave or somebody like that. If Donovan Peoples-Jones shows out now the rest of the year, and he shows you that, hey, he's got a rapport with Baker and he's got the talent to be that one, now you just made that decision for where you want to go in the first round next year that much easier. So, it was a detriment the past few games of not being able to get him out there for reps, but ripping the Band-Aid off this week and saying, hey, all right, you want to leave? Adios, next man up. At least
Right.
it gives us the opportunity to see what he's made of, and what kind of rapport that the two of those guys can,
And if you remember, when did the season really catch fire last year? It was the Bengals game when OBJ tore his ACL.
Yep, 21 straight completions.
And in that game, we were losing. We were getting beat in the first half. We were losing that game, and it was a bad situation. People were turning the game off. They didn't want to wait and watch it. And then it was one of the in my adult life, how many times have we had a last second comeback victory the way that game did, and who caught the ball?
Yeah.
And the most memorable catch, other than a couple of those sideline, but the most impactful, memorable catch of that guy's career thus far, Donovan Peoples-Jones in the end zone to seal that game. So, I mean, all the stars are starting to align here, guys. We have an opportunity to see something. Baker's going to go out there and play like his tail's lit on fire. We're going to spread the ball around. I think the defense is going to play well, and I expect great things. Let's go ahead and do the Sabo apparel giveaway. Everybody in here, we got a bunch of people in here. All right, so this is how we're going to do it. Usually I do the 1 to 100 thing, but we have John and we have doghoofs.com. So you see the website that's listed there right underneath my dad and Mike over there on the right side of the screen. Doghoofs.com. Head over there right now. You don't it's not going to do two-form authentication or anything crazy like that. Go over there and sign in. When you do that, you can sign up to enter into the contest to win the Sabo apparel stuff. And then also you can get some other points. So the way that it works is you gain points throughout the year, and then you can apply those points to entries into the giveaway. It's really simple. It's a lot easier than me having to look up numbers and stuff like that. Plus, when you sign up, you can put in your email address. You can put in your t-shirt size, so I don't have to do any guesswork on that. It's really simple. So everybody, if you want to take part in the Sabo apparel giveaway, John, if you're out there, if you're listening, please give me a thumbs up that we are good to go on that, because I'm sending people there now. Head over to doghoofs.com, get yourself entered into the contest, and win yourself a Sabo apparel t-shirt. I just got the Blake Hance one, guy named Blake shirt that Sabo came out with. They also have the Scottish Hammer shirt. If you happen to still be a believer in our punter, which interestingly enough, when my dad and I were at the last game, there were people behind us that I was loving the guys behind us. I could have sat with those guys. If those were our season ticket seats, I would have jived with those guys all on. I mean, they were sitting there, they're bashing the Hammer. They were just like, look, I don't know how long we're gonna go with this, but either way, it's a really cool t-shirt. I'll tell you that. So go out there and get yourself set up for Sabo apparel, and we'll be good to go on that one. Guys, give me your score predictions. I know, Mike, you had said it. Dad, I want to know what your score prediction is for this week.
I think 30-20. My pet peeves are all the same. Protect the edge, blitz more, put pressure on the quarterback. And, again, I'm finding it, sort of tough to take where the guys don't take the points and they go for it on fourth down. I saw it last night in a college game with Alabama and LSU. LSU has got the ball on the 4-yard line, 4th and goal. They tried it, they couldn't get it in. They're losing by 6 points, 20-14, and there's 6 minutes to go in the game. They chose to not kick the field goal and make it a 3-point game. They didn't get the touchdown. They got the ball 2 more times in the 6 minutes, and they could have not only tied the game, they could have won the game if they kicked 2 field goals. But no, they didn't take it. So I'm hoping Stefanski has learned his lesson and that we take the points in those critical situations. Getting 3 points is a lot better than walking away with 0.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, it's unfortunately, I think Stefanski is not a situational guy. I think he was all in on fourth down, and that was working, and he was being super aggressive last year. And then this year, it just, the dice rolled the other direction, and we haven't been getting those fourth downs because we were just doing, okay, it's 4th and 1. Let's just slam the ball up the middle. They bunch it up because that's the most likely place we're going with it, instead of having the repetitions on plays that are, they're high percentage plays based off that situation. Now think about this, like the first 2-point conversion that Baker Mayfield caught from Jarvis Landry, the first game, the Jets game where he played. Those are I'm not saying you have to go that razzle dazzle, but you could easily have a fake up the middle, roll out a tight end and flip it to him type play, as opposed to or go into shotgun and then do a little underhand toss play. I mean, you got to have a better play than just QB sneak or slamming a running back right up on JC Treader, right? So if you're gonna go for it on fourth down, have a very high percentage play. Don't just suck, and just go. We're just gonna run it.
I didn't see anything this week. Is the Pittsburgh kicker back? Is he out of concussion protocol? So do they have somebody who can kick extra points and field goals?
I thought it was the punter that actually was the problem, but I could be wrong. I mean, I don't know. I could hop into.
It was Boswell. I think he's okay though.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's good for him. I mean, honestly, I would have taken the win any way it could have came last week because people, the fans of what's it called? The Steelers fans last week, they would have said, "Oh, well, it's because you knocked out our kicker and you guys are a dirty team and everything." Like, we're not the ones who called the play, right? If you're gonna blame anybody, blame Mike Tomlin. He was the one who called the play. He's an eligible player. He got hit just like anything else. Tough luck. It happens.
Yeah,
so,
no flag.
No flag. It was a legal play.
Yeah.
It wasn't dirty. No fine. No nothing. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the Steelers can go fly a kite, if you ask me.
Huh.
And I'll leave it at that for the Steelers. I guess that'd probably be the safest way to
Let's
say
hope we
it.
have a good game today.
Yeah. Go kick some field goals, dude. Who cares? In terms of my score prediction, I think we win this game. I think we win it, and I think we win it by 10 points. So I'll say like 30-20. I mean, I think
That's what I said.
Okay, 30-20. Then I'll go.
Phillies are consistent.
Okay, so let me change it then. So I'll say 25-15.
All right, so hold on. I want to write this down. What are you, Mike? 25?
25-15.
Is Mike?
Which is a really weird. It's two very weird football scores.
And Dan, you were what?
30-20.
30-20, and I was 34-17. So we'll see. We'll see at the end here.
We haven't been predicting, other than Mike's guarantee. We haven't been. No guarantee this week, Mike.
Yeah. Any guarantee, Mike, or how are we feeling? Are you feeling like you're gonna put the guarantee on the line or no?
This is how I'm feeling.
You're feeling dangerous.
I'm feeling dangerous.
Dangerous.
Feeling dangerous. So by the way, guys, I am in contact with John right now. He's putting up the t-shirt. It's going to be the Guy Named Blake t-shirt, which I love the shirt, by the way. It's a great.
That is cool.
It's a great shirt. I mean, for a backup offensive lineman to have his own shirt, I think that's cool. I don't know. It's like It's the funny thing about Cleveland. I mean, with the t-shirt companies out there, they'll hop on to any trend that exists. So,
which is cool and unique.
yeah. I mean, it's something that I'm sure there's other t-shirt vendor type companies for other teams, but the reason why they do it is because we buy them and we like them.
Yeah, it's funny because out here, I could tell you almost for a fact there's nothing like that, for Philadelphia or even Baltimore. I've never seen any of my friends with, a t-shirt that a prominent, t-shirt company in the area strictly for that, has made. I don't know of any.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. So my score prediction, 25-15. Guys in chat, I know we saw a couple. We had Mr. Rollup with 31-17. Lou Thompson, 28-24 Browns. Ryan Brown, 35-30 Browns. Xander Hernandez, 24-17. Typical Gamer, 27-20 Browns. Anthony Williams, 49-9.
Whoa.
Bengals, Baker is done. Okay, thanks, Anthony. He's going against the blood there. So yeah,
I'll hold him to that.
Yeah, hold him to that. Ara has 17-10 Browns. So I think we win this game. It's either going to be a shootout, which I hope it's not, because I think the Bengals are actually more well designed for a shootout type offense, Joe Burrow, than we are with Baker Mayfield, especially Baker being hurt, the situation, everything like that. So, but the good news is this is a game that's going to be on national television. So, Mike, do you have this game on up there for you, or are you going to be streaming?
I'm probably gonna have to go to 700 for Sunday ticket. I don't think it's the game of the week out here. I think the Eagles are on at 1.
Okay, yeah, oh, that would make sense.
And then the Ravens are on at 1 too. So those two will probably have the have Fox and what is it, ABC or CBS? I get
It's on CBS.
CBS, okay.
Yeah.
So, which is interesting. This is the first, other than the primetime games, this is the first game that we've gotten Browns down here in Florida.
Hope they don't flex it out. We'll put somebody else in there.
Yeah, like last second fly. I don't think they will. I think this is an interesting enough game. I don't know. That means the Dolphins, Jags, and Bucks must not. Somebody must. Oh, the Buccaneers, they're on a bye. So the Jags and the Dolphins. So that's interesting.
Tua is not playing for Miami.
Nope.
He's hurt and last minute. So I don't even know who they have as their backup, but somebody I never heard of, I think.
Oh no, it's and the only reason I know this is because I was trying to finagle one of my fantasy teams, but it's Jacoby Brissett in Miami.
Right.
Yeah.
And Tyrod is coming back for Texas. This will be his first game since when we knocked him out.
Yep.
And I'm going with the upset there. I hope the Texans beat them.
And just
how much of an upset is it? They're both 1-7.
I know.
I guess the fact that it's being played in Miami, but it's at 1 o'clock. So the Miami and Jacksonville both play at 1 o'clock. Yet in Central Florida, we get the Browns Bengals. So,
and I just want to throw this out there because I'm playing Mike this week in fantasy, and I have Joe Mixon, and I'll tell you, I will sacrifice a loss in that league for 0 points from Joe Mixon today. Not going to happen, but I would be on board with that.
okay, so it looks like the you know what? Let's hold on. Let's hold it for the post game. Okay, we're gonna officially hold the t-shirt giveaway for the post game show. So guys, come back for the post game for that. Mike, I want to look at so in my fantasy, I've got Tampa Bay's a lot of the Tampa Bay players, so they're all on a bye. But we did get Christian McCaffrey back.
I have him in one of my other leagues, and they said that he's going to be. They don't know if he's going to be a full go, but you got to throw him in the lineup anyway because you can't.
Yeah, it's either that or I have this the guy Davis, Mike Davis for Atlanta. So I mean, he could put up just as many points as that guy would. Yep. So it's going to be a rough week. You are a 63 to 37% favorite.
Yeah, but I've seen it in the past, and then I get embarrassed. So we'll see.
We shall. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Final thoughts, Dad.
Squabble.
I'll start it with you, Dad. Final thoughts on today's game.
I just hope we have a good game, and because I don't want to listen to the lingering effects of Odell if we lose this game, and how we missed him, and how it had an effect on the game, and how it affected Baker and this and that. I want this behind us ASAP. And the best way to do that is with a win, and a convincing win. And that's what I hope our guys have it in them today to do. And then we move on to bigger and better things.
Well said. Mike, what are your final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be an evenly matched game, but let's put it this way. If they go down there and either A, lay an egg, or B, get beat and look horrible, then we've got a lot of questions to answer come Monday. But I don't see that. I think man for man on this team, the talent is there.
Right.
They understand that it's a business, and they still have to go out and perform, and their goal is to still win. And I think that they get the I think they get this thing back on the right track this week, and then next week, you got another winnable game, and then the week after that, you got another winnable game. So I mean, today really it's do or die, but you get that W in the column today, and the season starts looking a lot better.
Right, I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I mean, in terms of my final thoughts here, guys, first off, thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate it. Mark Showens here, Sarah, Ara,
See Squabble snuck in.
Chubba Wubba Hub 24, Squabbles in the house, Ryan Brown's here, Mr. Roll Up, Isaiah Gassina, John Schlegel's here too. Everybody, appreciate you guys for all being here. Number one. Also, we are now officially entering into deep fall. This is now where I would consider it to be, although I wouldn't say deep. We are in fall, definitely. It's colder here in Orlando than it was when I was in Cleveland last week.
Right.
It was.
Yeah, it's cold out here
been
now.
cold, right?
Windy too. Yeah.
Cold and windy and everything. So we're in fall territory, guys. That's why we have the new overlay. The new we got the little fall leaves over here and everything
Love
like
it.
that.
Love it.
So we're getting in there. Mike's got his pumpkin brew coffee and pumpkin brew beer and everything like that. Everything. So I'm
Victory Monday mug.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I was like, I hope we get to give away a Victory Monday mug on the Wednesday show.
I want to put that flag back out. I'm getting frustrated.
I want to wear the
I'll
shirt.
admit it. I know,
bought the
me
shirt.
too. I brought it with me last week too. That was my going home outfit, and instead I went home looking like a clown.
I bought the shirt. And I didn't get to wear it. I got the Cleveland Municipal Stadium one too. I think I bought a size too small, so I'm gonna have to give it to my wife. But the Victory Monday shirt, I'm ready to wear it. I mean,
Yeah.
I want to wear that thing, and that will be what I will wear on the Wednesday show as well. I'll be wearing Victory Monday.
absolutely.
I'll be drinking Victory Monday. We'll be giving away a Victory Monday.
It'll be a great day.
Yeah. So we'll be back on the win train. I mean, this is by far the longest losing streak that Stefanski's had.
Yeah.
We got the players back. It's the Battle of Ohio. We do play well in Cincinnati, right? So we didn't have to travel far, and I think the players are ready. I think Baker, Mike, you said it best, and this is another point that I was thinking earlier this week as well. Baker Mayfield's a guy that has been kicked in the mouth his entire life. At every stage, this is not something new for Baker Mayfield, right?
Yeah.
He knew in high school, he knew in college that he's going to have to fight and scrap for everything that he gets to earn it, right? And so now he's in the pros, and it's happening again. And guess what? He's just got to go out there, and I want to see Heisman Trophy winner Baker Mayfield today. I don't want to see Baker Mayfield guy that, is being held back because of whatever. I want him to go out there and rip it. And if he does, guys, we are going to be smiling and being very happy.
Yeah.
But I do think it all comes down to what Cleveland Browns team shows up today, and then what Cincinnati Bengals team shows up. Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of good things going on. So we got 15 minutes before kickoff. We're gonna get going here. We will see you at. I think I set the post game show for like 4:15. So we will see you back here, same bat channel, at 4:15. Hopefully celebrating us getting off of that losing train, off the schneid, back into the winning column this afternoon. So with that, I will leave you guys. Thank you very much for being here once again. We'll be doing the Sabo apparel giveaway, which is going to be up there on the website. So go to dogwoofs.com, get yourself entered. You have some points you can add in there, and we'll see you for the post game show, 4:15. Go Browns.
Go Brownies.
Go Brownies.